Cecil Mulberry was a plumper man. He knew this. His mother had told him so before she passed away from exhaustion a year ago. It was with a degree of sadness that he had lived his life up to 52 in pursuit of a fortune in an attempt to make up for this shortcoming. He got up from the small table in a dank bawdy house and moved towards the intercom by the door. "Is he here yet?" "I'm sending him in now, Sir Cecil." The stout figure returned to his seat. 2 minutes later a tall, lanky man joined him in the room and sat opposite the seat. "So you think you're up to working alongside me, do you, Mr. Johnson? Do you know that to be privileged enough to reach this stage, I want to see a fantastic and illuminating marketing strategy from you?" "Well, Sir Cecil, I'm keen, enthusiastic, and much wired after recent events in my life, and you think this is a bonus in your application, do you? Well, I tell you what I think, if you must, sir. I think I'm tired of static little turds like you coming in here and thinking this is a kind of frank and honest approach which is going to get you anywhere." "I am Edward Fawkes' son, sir," Johnson protested, nervously fidgeting with his hands. "I don't care if you're the bloody Queen's baker, my lad." "You don't know how ironic you're being," John interjected quietly. "What I care about is my reputation if I take you on. To be straight with you, I have to say that your enthusiasm is not what I'm counting on. While I was head boy at my school, you see, you have got some potential. I'm a bit weird though, so excellent credentials for our partnership." Sir Cecil was being nice. In John's military and merchant experience, this was a sure sign that negotiations were going to go downhill from this point. "Now I understand you have something to show me." "Yes, indeed, sir. I have elucidated and retained a fascinating idea that might sustain my retribution." "Huh? Yeah. But what is it?" "Well, sir, it involves such a convoluted plot that the aspect of the idea is very, very difficult to convey. However," Cecil saw the interview getting out of his control and decided to inject again, to sway his influence back to what he saw as its proper place. "I see here from your CV that you have a history with the police. I have it incumbent upon me not to withstand the convictions of the law, yes. In fact, it seems you have had a brush with the authorities a number of times. On the last occasion you were charged with a number of offences. These offences are disturbing the peace, criminal damage, breaking and entering, assault, and high treason to the Crown." Cecil's eyebrows managed to raise. "Quite an impressive list, I think." "I was set up." John fumbled awkwardly for an explanation. "So you don't know Rob Catesby, Oswald Testimond, and Tom Wintour, then?" "Never heard of them. John Wright?" Johnson looked sheepishly away whilst trying not to give any telltale signs of his knowledge of these men. "How about Chris Wright?" "No." "Strange. It says that they had a large part in this idea of yours." "Oh, yeah," John finally admitted with reluctant candour. "I know those guys. So, show me this idea of yours, then." "Well, Sir Cecil, it's a device for setting off stink bombs automatically. We haven't got a name for it yet, but Catesby has worked on it under the title of Whoopee Cushion." From Johnson's pouch plopped a leather sheepskin bladder sewn together with cork at the top. "See, with this we think we can dispense with blowing up places." Cecil looked somewhat perturbed and did not know what to say, considering reaching for the nearest intercom and having this madman out of the office. "For instance, if we were to take it upon ourselves to resurrect our plan to blow up the status quo, we could use the whoopee cushion. Parliament would smell so much that we could swoop in and take the country, putting Princess Elizabeth on the throne in James's stead." "You think it would be that simple, do you?" "In the meantime, we're looking for someone to help us market this so we can really clean up in today's growing commercial environment." "Why don't you do it now? Go on, get yourself blown up and out of my hair. Mayhaps we have to wait for Elizabeth to come of age and Parliament to reassemble." "So you're going to try again, then?" "Yeah, only this time round it's going to succeed." "Well, Mr. Johnson, I'm bound to tell you that we have just received confirmation that the CRB you allowed us to conduct on your behalf has come through." John was coyly but nervously unimpressed. Yes, it has some interesting results too. It says that you were in the Spanish army. You went under a different name. Your real name, in fact, is Mr. Fawkes. Fuck. That's it, isn't it? Mr. Guy Fawkes. I hate liars. How do I know I can trust you now, Mr. Fawkes? Please, Sir Cecil, give us a chance. Me and my friends will change for this, I promise. We so need this opportunity, I'll do anything. I'm sorry, I can't trust you, Mr. Fawkes. You're fired. As he picked up his hat, Guy Fawkes reluctantly felt these words pour into his ears, bowing his head in shame and disappointment as he slowly departed. Thank you, Sir Cecil. Guy Fawkes was the fourth applicant that had been dismissed by Sir Cecil Mulberry. The other hopefuls were Lord George Byron, William Marshall, William Blake, Anne of Cleves, Mary Shelley, and Jeremy Corbyn. A small camera crew caught up with Guy as he stood by the gallows at Tyburn. Well, Fawkes sat back in his tightly bound rope restraints. I feel Sir Cecil displayed a very short-sighted outlook on my proposal, to be frank, and if it wasn't for that Corbyn before me, perhaps he wouldn't have been cast with such a bleak cloud. I don't know. At the end of the day, indeed, my life, it seems at the moment, is probably the best. After all, progress is what we strive for, isn't it? Guy mused. But how do you feel about the overall process has treated you and your incredibly ingenious concept today? There's so much competition out there today, I feel my treatment has been fair and just in retrospect. My only worry now is how I'm going to break it to Catesby and the other chaps. Although, having said that, as I'm now going to the gallows, I'm going to be hung, drawn and quartered, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Hit it, ball.